Hello, everybody. This is Professor TK the Chemist. I'm bringing you yet another video where I go behind the science of the headlines. So here we have another situation where teachers are going on strike, this time in Denver, Colorado. So last month I reported that teachers went on strike in LA, in Los Angeles, because of pay, large classroom sizes, not having social workers at the schools, nursing staff, librarians, the list goes on and on and on. And people were saying, oh, teachers get paid a lot of money, they should just be grateful. But the last time I checked, as an educator for over 20 years, things have gotten worse. Okay, things have gotten worse. So you have the teachers in Denver, Colorado, who are going to go on strike tomorrow, February the 11th, Monday, 2019. In case you didn't know, now you do. Let's go ahead and play this clip so you all can understand what's going on.
The three, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm an upside down division. I have been teaching algebra for 13 years. You know what? I'm gonna put the 1x there. On top of the teaching job, I also drive a bus part-time. I also do Lyft, I do Uber. Well, there's a price surge. I umpire Little League. And nice hit, bud. Time. I believe that on top of my teaching and my coaching, that I've got 6 or 7 part-time jobs. It is getting harder and harder as a father. I've got a daughter, she's 6 years old now, and then I've got another one that's in 5th grade, and I look now and she's gonna be in middle school next year. I don't wanna miss her games. I don't wanna miss her plays at school. And I have. I've missed too many of them. When I have to hug them on a Thursday and say, you know what, I'll get to see you Sunday afternoon at church, it breaks your heart because it's not their fault. It's not my fault. It's the situation that we're in.
Have a seat. We will go over it together. Get a red pin when you're done, please. Mr. Collins blank. I was in banking for about 3 years until I decided that I wanted to go back to school for education. What blank? You've been doing an art class. 1 out of 10 people would say good job or good luck. We need more people like you. The other 9, they would laugh and say, obviously you don't ever want to own a home. You don't ever want to be able to support a family because obviously you don't want any kind of steady income. Danye, is it you managing tonight? I did not think I was gonna have to go back to my old college job. I told my manager multiple times, this is my last shift ever because I am gonna be a teacher, I'm gonna have my salary, everything's gonna go great. And then whenever I texted her a few months ago, she's like, I told you. Can I grab you anything else right now?
I guess more space.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll be right back, you're welcome. I'm waiting on my students sometimes or my students' parents or some of my old customers saying, why are you back? Are you not in education anymore? Did you realize that you're not making enough? The patio? Okay. It's, I wouldn't say embarrassing, but it's just more of a realization of how far Oklahoma needs to come to get educators what they need.
I like bright colors. They make me feel like happy. No, I've actually bought everything in this classroom. I mean, as far as decorations, as far as everything you see on the walls, the animals, the reading tent, I made the chairs. When they find out I'm their teacher, they always say, oh, that's a circus room. I feel like sometimes it motivates someone to come to school. Ruby Bridges was brave to go into school. Miss Henry was Ruby Bridges' teacher. You love teaching and the way your state looks at education as if, oh, let's just cut education. Why would you take from the kids? I love Miss Branton. She is the best teacher in the world. And that's him and me. I have a kid that doesn't want to read, but then I add an incentive and that kid reads 5 books in one day. I just want them to want to learn and I want them to love reading. So if I have to purchase something, then I'll do it just for them.
I just want the state of Oklahoma to prove to teachers that you want them to be here. You don't want teachers to say, you know what, I want to go to Texas or Arkansas or Kansas to make more money. If you really value the teachers in Oklahoma, prove it by providing for them. Not just salaries, but also in the classrooms. Yeah, have a great day.
So, you just watched the video about teachers in Oklahoma. And although that story was based on teachers in Oklahoma, that story is prevalent in every state, including Colorado. This just hit 9:34 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday, February 10th, 2019. Denver is so expensive that teachers have to get creative to make ends meet. So I'm going to read a little bit from this article so you all can understand what's really going on. These teachers are wanting to walk out because of the pay, okay? It is living paycheck to paycheck that these teachers are upset. And again, it's just not what you guys are thinking. I get so tired of having to debate this issue because so many people do not realize that teachers really go beyond the call of duty. They really go beyond the call of duty. You saw in the video where one teacher purchased items with her own money. Okay, with her own money. Here it is, you have teachers who want the best for their kids. They want the best, and in order to get the best, they sometimes have to work 2 and 3 jobs in order to supply their children with pencils, paper, crayons, because in many of these states, they do not pay a lot per child. Now, last month, I showed you how in California, it costs more to house an inmate than it does to educate a child. Let me say that again. It costs more to educate an inmate than it does to educate a child. So you have this one teacher here who says she's one car breakdown away from living in a camper van. And although she's smiling in this picture, she's probably smiling behind a lot of pain. Okay? A lot of pain. Look, just read it for yourself. Katie McOwen has had to make some tough decisions when it comes to money. At the end of this month, she's given up her 1-bedroom apartment and will move into a friend's basement. The move sacrifices some of her independence, but it affords her some wiggle room with her finances. The 6th grade math teacher at Place Bridge Academy in Denver says she makes about $50,000 per year. After paying $1,050 in rent, plus student loan payments, bills, and other expenses, there's not much left over. She also nannies during the summers to supplement income. And she's, again, living paycheck to paycheck. Paycheck to paycheck. And you see, a lot of people don't understand that when you hear teachers who you say they're making $50,000 a year, that's more than what I make. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you don't realize what goes behind that. Do you spend money on your job for supplies? I'm sure your job gives you the paper that you need for your job. I'm sure your job does all the things that is required of you to ensure that you can survive off that $50,000. Many teachers are parents. And if they're not, they treat the children like they are their kids. And they pay for things. You just saw recently where a superintendent is in trouble because she took a child to the doctor's office using her insurance. And although, yeah, we know that that was a fraudulent activity, she still got in trouble for that. Teachers, educators, people who work with kids have a heart. We see things happening and we do not want our kids to suffer. And you're probably saying, well, you should go into another career. If not us, then who? If not me, then who? I mean, people need to miss me with the attitude of, well, it's your fault. This teacher right here drives Lyft after school and has multiple roommates. Okay, so apparently he's not married, having to do that. It just really baffles me that people don't understand what teachers are doing to survive. Would it surprise you if you knew that there were homeless teachers? Would that surprise you? Yeah. Yeah. We're just at this time of our life, and it's getting harder and harder to find roommates, says this physical education teacher. All of my friends are either married and don't want to live with another random person, or I'm looking out for random people on Craigslist. If he opts to get a new place, he will have to pay yet another security deposit and the first month's rent. He's had to take out loans before the security deposit and the first month's rent because he doesn't have the extra $800 to $1,200 to throw down. And although his base salary is $42,000, that's still not enough. Okay? And I always say, when do these teachers have time to make ends meet? In other words, to have another part-time job. There was another teacher who got in trouble for being a pole dancer in her own house. She posted on a private page. She's a middle school teacher, and someone shared it because otherwise, how would the schools have known if this was on her private page? Someone shared it, and she was fired. Now, if she's having to do that to make ends meet, she's not taking her clothes off. She's showing you dance moves, okay? But she got fired from that. And these teachers are tired. And you wonder why they have an attitude at times. Look at what teachers are having to do. Look at what teachers are having to do. This teacher says she hasn't had a savings account in 9 years. Savings, like she left North Carolina to move to Denver, hoping for a better opportunity. So now she has to make ends meet by taking 3 jobs beyond her teaching day as a Spanish teacher. She coaches the women's varsity lacrosse team, and then she coordinates exchange programs, and then she does Spanish language summer camps. Like, she's doing all these things to make ends meet. Okay? She's burned out. Look, she's telling you right here, I am burned out. There are days that I am walking in the building knowing I'll be there until 8 p.m. that night. And many teachers have to be at school by 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay? And if she's there till 8, by the time she gets home and grade papers and all the things that she has to do, look, she's telling you right here she has to get up at 4 a.m. on school days. Goes for a run and doesn't get home until 5. So she's getting her exercise in before she goes to work. And this is admirable because let me tell you, there are a lot of teachers who don't have time to work out because they're too tired to do it after work, that this woman says, you know what, I'm going to make health my priority. And I say it all the time, as a certified running coach, we have to do what? Take care of ourselves. Even if it means getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, that's what she's doing. And then this teacher, she's thinking of taking a second job as a server. And it shouldn't even be that way. She's a first-year teacher, so, you know, she's learning. Hopefully she'll stay with it, but if not, I understand. I understand. So she's saying, okay, she's a first-year teacher, okay? First-year teacher. Check this out. She says she does not plan to strike on Monday because she can't afford to. I really, really want to because I do support the mission, but I literally financially cannot afford to. For me to lose out on $200 of pay a day, it does impact my bills for the month. So teachers who take this don't get paid. And she's not part of a union, the Denver Classroom Teachers Association, okay? So there are some states where they do have a union, and in other states they do not. And she's telling you right here, she can't afford to pay the $70 monthly fee because she's only in her first year of teaching. And here's the sad part about all of that. She can't afford the $70 per month monthly fees. Usually there are some organizations that will pay, you know, or give you like a discount. I'm not sure if this is the case for her, but they'll give first-year teachers a discount, you know, pre-service teachers a discount. But check this statement out. While doing her taxes, Lung discovered that her sister made slightly more money by working full-time as a server. Lung says she made just under $43,000 as a teacher. So again, when we consider how much teachers have to pay, for all the things they have to do, it makes you wonder why. Look at this next story. And see, I say it all the time. People say, well, why don't you just leave? Well, she's thinking about it. She was the state's top rookie art teacher, but she's thinking of leaving. She lives with her parents, 30 years old, lives with her parents. It gives her a chance to save about $1,000 a month and focus on paying down her bills. She's a digital art teacher and she already is working 3 other jobs. When she's not in the classroom, she works as a restaurant hostess, runs an Etsy business, and does freelance work. So she makes just under $47,000 before taxes. So guys, when you hear these stories, be sympathetic to what's going on with our teachers. Be sympathetic. Matter of fact, let me pull up some stats to see how much they pay per child for the education in Denver, Colorado. And then I also want to see how much it costs to house an inmate in Denver, Colorado. Before I get to those stats, I wanted to pull up the salary because a lot of people say, well, let's look at the fees. Let's look at how much they're getting paid. So if you just kind of scroll this screen, and you can actually pause this video and go back and look at these numbers. If you look at the non-charter schools, this is the salary in the yellow column. Charter schools, this is the salary. All schools, this is the salary. And again, these are average salary wages, okay? The average. So depending on the school, okay, this determines about how much you're going to get. Now, again, this is not based on experience. I don't see anything broken down here in terms of experience, but I just wanted to kind of point this out to you that these numbers are, I keep seeing 40s and 30s and 20s popping up. That's not a lot of money. Keep in mind that some of these teachers are getting paid that amount whether it's 9 months or 12 months. Some of the teachers split their money over 12 months. I did the numbers before and I showed you how even over a 12-month period, they're bringing home less than $2,000 a month. And if you're spending half of that in rent, hello. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at the numbers. So let's look at these numbers. Okay, so I went to the DenverPost.com, and according to this particular article that was dated July 13th, 2017, right here in the middle, as you can see, right here, okay, they're saying that these numbers really don't tell the true story, that they're more like cliff notes. They're indicating that they spend approximately $6,791 per student, while at another school, they spent $7,679 per student. According to this article, these numbers don't really tell the true story because there are a lot of different variations that go into how money is being spent. It says this website doesn't include information about the percentages of students eligible for free or reduced lunch because that also accounts for some of this as well. So let's go a little further. Let's go a little further as to, again, why these teachers are actually upset about all of this. Well, let's go a little deeper. According to this particular article that was from 2015, prison spending in Colorado per inmate ranks the state 26th among U.S. states, yet still slightly below the national average. In 2012, the cost per inmate in Colorado was $30,374, while the national stat was $32,142. The states at either end of the spectrum during that year were Kentucky, where they spent $14,603 per inmate, while New York spent $60,076. Now, you also have to keep in mind that depending on where you live, these numbers will be high or low. Okay, the cost of living also affects these numbers as well. But what is my point? My point is, it costs more to house an inmate than it does to educate a child. It costs more to house an inmate than it does to educate a child. So when you all hear teachers protest, please understand there's more to it than what you're seeing on the line. Now, I did talk a little bit about how some of these teachers have student loan payments, okay? Now, in some states, and depending on the type of loan that you have, if you teach at an impoverished school for 5 years, or a Title I school, or a low-income school, or an at-risk school, all these coded word schools, if you teach at a school like that for at least 5 years, some of these student loans will be delinquished, like they will actually get rid of them. They will actually pay them off. But if you can read right here, okay, look at this paragraph where it starts off at teacher shortage. Let me read that for you so you can again understand why teachers are upset. Colorado lawmakers set aside $10 million and passed 9 bills to address the shortage of teachers in some subjects and in many rural areas. The bills spend $2 million to the Colorado Department of Higher Education to work with educator preparation programs and $3 million to school districts to design their own incentives to keep teachers. There are 10,000 fellowships and $6,000 worth of stipends for rural teachers and a quote-unquote grow your own program that pays the final 36 credit hours for student teachers if they make a 3-year commitment to a district. There are also 2 bills that make it easier for teachers moving here from other states to get licensed, and another that simplifies the background check process for student teachers. Several hundred teachers are likely to benefit directly from these programs, but without money to raise teacher pay, especially in rural districts, the impact will be modest. This is the main reason why I'm reading this right here. Bills on loan forgiveness and improving school leadership, 2 strategies supported by research, didn't pass. I'm going to say that again. Bills on loan forgiveness and improving school leadership, 2 strategies supported by research, didn't pass. So again, when you see teachers protesting across the country, I want you to go help these teachers out by just simply volunteering your time to help these teachers cut out papers, grade papers, do things that teachers normally would spend extra time aside from their 7 to 4 o'clock day doing. Teachers have to work 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet. They don't get home till like 9 and 10 o'clock. When do they have time? And if you want to say, what about their planning periods? Again, that time is limited. Okay? So guys, be a little bit more understanding about these teachers who are taking these strikes across the country. There are teachers who are doing it for the betterment of your child's education, your child's future. Okay? Please understand that. If you have any questions, you can always reach me at the bottom below. Go ahead and leave your comments. Share this out with your other friends. What do you think should be the course? Should teachers continue to strike? Should parents be there on the striking line with them? What should we do? You tell me. Professor TK signing out. Peace.